Hello class, my name is Emily Parsons, and for this week's discussion post, I chose to write about situation number 2, in which I will discuss the situation of intentional tort. In this scenario, a patient needs to receive a barium swallow, but refuses to swallow the contrast media. So the nursing assistant assigned to this patient takes the cup and forces the patient to drink the liquid. In this case, the nurse has both the legal and ethical obligation to remove the nursing assistant from the patient's immediate care. Since nurses are mandated reporters, the nurse must also report the event to the appropriate people, such as human resources and upper management. The patient's safety should be number one priority in this situation. This type of encounter could be considered an intentional tort and would fall under the categories of assault and battery. According to Bronson, 2023, intentional tort is when somebody intentionally causes harm to the patient. Battery occurs when somebody intentionally touches the patient without their consent, and assault occurs when somebody intentionally causes fear or apprehension in a patient into believing that they will be physically harmed. Since the nursing assistant forced the patient to drink the contrast media against their will, they will fit into the criteria for this type of tort. All capacitated patients have the right to refuse medical treatment under the patient's Bill of Rights. The nurse has both the duty and obligation to advocate and protect the patient's rights. The U.S. Department of Personnel Management's no date states to report any wrongful doing to the OPM fraud hotline. The number to this hotline is 877-499-7295. The patient also holds the right to file a complaint against the nursing assistant through the healthcare facility at which this has taken place. And they also have the right to file a complaint through the Office of Health Facility Licensure and Certifications, OFLAC. This agency, quote, helps shape healthy environments for clients, patients, and residents within the healthcare facilities by promoting the quality services and high standards of care that exist when facilities are in compliance with state licensure rules and federal certification regulations, end quote. Office of Health Facility, no date. In this situation, the nurse should have immediately separated the patient from the nursing assistant's care. Next, the nurse should educate the nursing assistant about patient rights and how this behavior is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. Lastly, the nurse should have reported the nursing assistant to the appropriate parties, such as human resources or upper management. And since capacitated patients possess the autonomy to refuse medical care, they can't be forced into doing something that they don't consent to. When patients do refuse physician orders, the nurse has the duty to educate the patient as to why the orders are in place for their care, what can happen if they refuse the orders, any questions that they might have. They can also defer to the physician. After the patient has been educated, the nurse should contact the physician and let them know the refusal of treatment. And then lastly, they should document the event as it has taken place. In conclusion, no one, including the nurse, should ever force medical care onto a patient who has not consented. This would be both legally and ethically wrong. Thank you for listening to this week's discussion post, and have a great day.